So February is now done. It was a really good month from my end, to be honest. So obviously, as we come into March, it's now the last month of the quarter, and I think we could get some decent price action to begin with. Obviously, we've got NFP coming up as the first week of March. So with NFP week, you never really want to rush into any trades without having a plan in place. Me personally, right now, I am bullish dollar. So let me just literally get into it right now. So last week, towards Thursday, Friday, we had a push higher on dollar, which was caused by more tariff news and tariff announcements from Trump. So we got an increase in tariffs on China, and we got tariffs also put in place for the Eurozone. Obviously, that now led to Euro pushing lower, which to me has now broken its bullish trend, and we are now bearish dollar. But for bearish Euro, but for dollar, I think we do run to the highs. So the monthly candle has just closed. We've swept the previous month's low. Weekly candle has closed bullish back into this range. Nice aggressive close as well. Daily, we see how prices now closed above my daily EMAs over here. Back above, as you can see. So to me, as long as on Monday, so I don't trade the first Monday of the new month. So on Monday, should that candle also close above around here, that will confirm the break in structure, and I was looking for price to continue higher. So I am long dollar, and then for Euro, essentially, I am looking for price to run into here before continuing lower into these levels over here. So Euro is the weaker pair compared to pound. So if I briefly touch on pound quickly, we're still trading at the EMA. The structure hasn't really been broken as of yet, so I'm being a bit more patient with pound. So I'd rather just be looking to short Euro. But if I run through Euro from the top down as well, so monthly closed, weekly aggressive bearish close. We swept the previous week's high, which is weekly buy side liquidity, broke below, closed engulfing. That close now led to the daily candles closing aggressively through the daily EMAs. These EMAs tend to hold trend, so once price closes through them, the trend has now changed. And now ideally, I want to see price push lower. If I also remove this, you see this large FVG on the daily here. And then also on the 12-hour, we have a large aggressive high volume candle to show that price is again likely to return before continuing lower. So I am already scoping for EU sales. I'll be looking to do a swing short on EU. Again, it depends on how Monday closes, but should Monday close around this region over here, I'll look for Tuesday to form the high of the week, sell into that high to then target these lows down here. Nice and simple. Again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, it is NFP week. So if I bring up the calendar to see what is the main key aspects. So it's quite an active week this week. First things that come to my attention, we have PMI for the US on Monday. They should bring some sort of volatility. JPY governor speaking on Tuesday. JPY pairs, I'll touch them very shortly. GDP for AUD, CPI for CHF, some more employment and PMI news for the US. We've also got Euro interest rate decision as well, where they're likely to cut rates again, which is also again bearish for the Euro. So when rates are being lowered, this is bearish. So we then also have NFP, which is predicted to be an increased forecast. Unemployment rate is still holding. So we've already now seen two factors that could result in more bullish dollar and bearish Euro. So the market is going to price in this interest rate cut. When rates are lowered, the currency gets weaker. So if the market opens and then prices this in already, it now adds more fuel for lower euro. Then on Friday, the US economy is still strong. It is still the strongest G7 economy. It is still holding well. Likely, if NFP comes in line and increases, and if hourly earnings likely also increase and the unemployment rate stays the same, then dollar will likely continue higher as well. So if we're going to have a week where we have a large move, as we've seen with the news, it's going to be this week. So again, I'm favoring euro sells and dollar buys, basically. So moved out the way for now. One sec. Cool. Now for the JPY pairs, so I am bearish still on the JPY pairs. So the Bank of Japan, obviously, we still know that they're going to be hiking their rates. So market is still pricing in weaker correlated pairs with the yen. So basically things like UJ to be selling off, GJs to be selling off, and EJ as well. So even just from looking at the chart itself, Friday we come and tapped back at this previous swing low point here, and we also trading below the daily EMAs as well. So what I like to see is the previous week's high to get swept. So we have this weekly FEG here as well, also in lines with the weekly high. So I want to see the weekly high get swept, run into the FEG, and then continue price lower. Nice and simple for UJ. What you also notice is that although price bounced from this daily sell side, this is quite a shallow raid for a daily area of liquidity. So I feel like this will trap and form stop losses for the longs to then come and short into it. So I am bearish UJ. I'm looking for sells on UJ. GJ, likewise, this is even weaker than UJ itself. Notice how price has been reacting away from the daily EMAs. So essentially, I'm just looking for, and we've already raided this 12-hour high as well in the buy side. So I'm just simply looking for price to just run a bit higher and then run lower. Same story with EJ as well. EMA weak. EJ is going to be the weaker of the pair because euro is the weakest currency right now out of the big three. So if we're looking for yen strength but currency weakness, you're going to go with euro as the weakest one. So euro sells will be even easier. But essentially, same story, just looking for a slight pullback before price then runs lower. Those are the main ones really. Then if I go to gold last week we saw a close below the EMAs. So now this is shifting me to be bearish midterm as a pullback. So obviously we've had the large run up everyone was trying to see and call for 3K. We ran to about 2,950, sold off. So obviously people are now taking profits. Again, Monday, it really depends on how it closes, but I would be preferring to see some sells on gold. So if you look at the weekly closure, bearish engulfing close, monthly, large wick showing some pressure downwards. So I want to see how Monday closes, and if it closes again below the daily EMA, I'd like to see price run back in to test this previous daily swing low and the FEG as well before running back lower again. You see the FEG right there? I would note it right here. So test that, react from the swing point as well before running lower. Gold, nice and simple. That's what I'm really looking for. We may, of course, not do that. We may keep running higher, but we'll see how Monday plays out because we do have some geopolitical tensions between Ukraine and the US and just general market uncertainty, and obviously gold tends to rise with uncertainty, but we'll see how the new week develops. But I'd rather be short in gold unless price comes in and closes right back above the 2,900 region as well. But yeah, that's a nice and quick update for the FX side of things. Obviously, if we're being into crypto, we've seen that BTC has dumped and broken through this level. Initially, I didn't anticipate this wick getting filled simply because of pricing from the market makers being more favorable. But of course, it makes sense for them to push it even lower to get even better pricing. That's fine. I am currently bearish on BTC. So notice how these EMAs are pushing to align toward this previous swing low here. So ideally, I want to see price come at test that 90k region before continuing to run lower. We see that we have a FEG on the daily here as well in that region. So run up higher, test the EMAs, then push lower. As you can see also on the monthly, bearish engulfing monthly close back below 1-2 monthly candles. So we likely come test the monthly low and potentially run out to 73k, where the previous all-time high is aligned with this area here. So to ideally perform something like this, where we pull up, one lower, test it before continuing the highs one more time. This is the general scenario that I'm looking at for right now. Again, we are still in a bull market. I don't care what anyone is saying. I don't care about social media. We are still bullish. There's a lot of fear and panic. There will be more fear and panic as we drop. However, the fundamentals have not changed. Things are still moving in the right way. Bitcoin reserve coming, several altcoin ETFs. There's many things that are still lurking and going on in the background. There's no need to panic. Of course, your bags may be down, but this is crypto. It happens. It's happened many a times. I'm happy to hold. Like, even if I'm in drawdown, I'm gonna hold it, because again, the market has not changed. The structure has not changed. We're still in a bullish structure. It's just that mid-term and short-term, we are now bearish to push lower, to clear out, and to have the, I would say, market makers get an even better entry before they start to run it back up to around 120, 125, etc. So crypto, don't fret too much. Just take a breather. Don't hang on socials for too long. Don't let negativity spew to make you sell, because again, you don't lose anything until you actually click sell. Just relax, be patient. Things will turn again. We still have QE to come from the Federal Reserve. Things are in a good place. It's just that we're getting a flush to get rid of all these buys around these regions here, and then we can then continue. But yeah, that's the general state of play right now. I'm being quite patient with crypto. I'm not really looking at meme coins or things like that. I'm really just focusing on FX because it's been quite consistent and clean recently. So yeah, like, as always, I'll keep sending my updates and trades into the channels and the groups. But yeah, any questions at all, just let me know. Just drop me a message or a comment. But yeah, again, quick summary. I am bullish dollar for the week. I think that we can push higher, but of course, I'll see how money closes. Bearish GU, EU. I am bearish yen pairs, so UJ, GJ bearish, EJ bearish, and then gold potentially bearish depending on how money closes. So yeah, that's the state of play right now. Let's see how the week unfolds.